I'm just going to start off with black for this one. So the Arturo envelopes are cotton, and a sharper pointed nib will snag on it a little bit more than this Nico G nib will. So I'm going to stick with this nib for now, and just going to try to nail this on the first time. Obviously, we're going to start with the top line and just go from there. And so just based on my previous experiment, I think I might be okay starting off of here based on the script that I'm going to do, which is not too elongated. So again, this is something that you might want to you'll have to experiment with to see how it lays out on your envelope. So I think I'm just going to stick with copper plate for this one, then I'll do something a little bit more fun for the next one. So we're going to go. Again, following these lines, it's still going to be that same 55-degree angle for this. Already off to a linty start. Yeah, so these cotton envelopes are really, really wonderful, but they do, the pulp does actually really sort of build up in your envelope quite a bit. In your nib quite a bit. And if I was doing a really formal envelope, I wouldn't do that little and, but I'm just going to use it for now. I'd actually write that out.
What are you thinking about while you're doing all of this? Like, how are you thinking in terms of keeping it on the lines? Like, are you thinking about spacing? Are you thinking about where the next line might go?
Everything, all at the same time. So I do, and it's a good question. I do want to make sure that I'm focusing on the lines and on my spacing. Just everything that you're going to be thinking, or putting into practice this whole entire time. It's just like this is all just in my head, trying to focus on it. Doesn't mean that's all that's in my head, because sometimes I might be thinking about what I want for dinner. So, I'm not going to lie, the brain does go where it wants to go. But, for the most part, it's just like when you get used to doing these things, like you don't have to think so hard about them. It comes a little bit more naturally. But when I'm doing it like this, it's just like I'm just kind of, my eyes are telling my brain, basically where to go next, and then it's telling my hands where to go next. So it's just sort of like become intuitive. But yes, like when you're first starting off an envelope, it's just going to be, and even when I do like maybe the first couple of envelopes, like in a project, I'm going to be thinking a lot harder about it than I am in like my 70th envelope. So. Yes, all of the above, the spacing, the letter forms, everything that, all of those practices that I've been mentioning need to be considered. And obviously I want to spell everything right. So there's that. It's kind of, it's one of those things, like I do actually kind of juxtapose numbers a lot, which drives me nuts because it always happens in the zip code. It's like, now that I'm done, I'm like, oh, good, this envelope's over with. Not that I don't enjoy doing it, but there's like a little bit of like, oh, I'm at the end now, I can relax a little bit. And it's just like, yeah, well, now it says 94190 instead of 09. And it's just like, that's where it always gets me. It's like I lose a little bit of concentration there.